Hi, I'm Dan Clark of The Safety Brief, where we talk about health and safety hazards in today's demanding industrial and construction work sites. So your knees are knocking because OSHA's coming. Well, don't worry. Just a little attention to detail will help you pass the inspection. Let me tell you the story of Antonio Ferraro. He's a safety manager who used a label maker to comply with OSHA. So you see, Antonio was hired by the company as their very first safety manager. They were a very small company, and safety management was something of a hot potato. It was just tossed from manager to manager, to staffer. Everybody was in charge, but nobody was in charge. It was a real safety mess. So Antonio came in and fixed the big problems. He started a big plan to maintain the equipment, and he made changes in supply stacks. They were stacked so high that they could easily fall on somebody. So he's in the middle of this big process. Then he finds out that OSHA would be there to do an inspection in the next 3 weeks. Well, besides the panic that goes with that, he was also out of money. He'd pretty much used up all of his annual budget for making safety improvements. So what was he going to do? Well, the first step was to walk through the site with a yellow notepad. And Antonio really found that most of the safety issues remaining were related to visual cues, safety signs, labels, things like that, the visuality. So he had to get some signs and pronto. But he had a couple of problems. If he got them from a supplier, it would take way too long. It would take more than 3 weeks. Plus, it was going to be too expensive. He didn't have the budget, but he also knew that he'd get a bunch of fines from OSHA if he didn't act quickly. Then he had a light bulb moment. He talked to a safety manager friend of his at another site, and he recommended buying an industrial label maker. And this is something that Antonio hadn't even thought of, to be able to print his own safety labels. And so he bought the printer, and he was able to crank out all the safety labels in just a couple of days. He made all kinds of signage, high voltage warnings, the AED labels, fire extinguisher labels, and he was even able to create some of the stickers that go on the floor to direct vehicle drivers. Now, Antonio chose the LabelTac 4 Pro printer, which allows you to print pre-designed standard labels, or you can create your own or modify either way. The LabelTac 4 Pro printer is from Creative Safety Supply, one of our sponsors. We'd love to see you support our sponsors, but any industrial Pro printer will help you out prior to an OSHA inspection. Well, that's all for right now. Check out the second part of this podcast, where we'll see how well Antonio's OSHA inspection went. This is the place for more tips and techniques on how to stay safety compliant in today's ever-changing landscape of safety requirements. This is The Safety Brief, sponsored by Creative Safety Supply. See their website at creativesafetysupply.com. I'm Dan Clark.